Ohio State is looking to win their first national championship since 2014 and is also looking to become the first champions of not just the 4-team playoff, but also the 12-team playoff. And here are 3 reasons why the Buckeyes will do just that. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. So glad you could join us as we continue our national championship coverage for the big game on Monday between Notre Dame and Ohio State. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home to our expert picks, home to our weekly newsletters, home to our holiday special, and tons of other exclusive content there for you, not just for the rest of this season, which is almost coming to an end, but for the entire year. Because here at the Gridiron Expert, we are talking college football with you year round. So go check it out. Link down in the description below. Become a member of our GE Nation today. So, Ohio State, a team that was left for dead at the end of the regular season, right? They lose to Michigan in that season finale, a horrendous performance at home. We knew they were going to make the college football playoff still, 10-2, they were still going to get in, but, were they going to make a run? A lot of people didn't think so. Maybe they would beat Tennessee, but they were going to lose to Oregon. Oh, if you beat Oregon, they're going to lose to Texas. That didn't happen. It's almost as if that Michigan loss changed everything for Ohio State. In a way, maybe it was a good thing for Ohio State. It was a wake-up call for the Buckeyes because they completely destroyed Tennessee after that game. Then they destroyed Oregon in the Rose Bowl and then did end up beating Texas by double digits. So it scored at least 28 points in all 3 playoff games and won all 3 playoff games by double digits. Pretty impressive run for Ryan Day and the Buckeyes. They, again, were not expected to make the national championship after that loss to Michigan, but yet now here they are. Let's jump into why. There's so many reasons why Ohio State can. We're talking about 3 main ones here, maybe ones that people aren't talking about nearly enough, and we'll have more for you tomorrow when we give our official national championship prediction. But reason number 1, their pass rush. My God, is it one of the best in the entire country. It's unbelievable. This is an elite pass rush, an elite defensive line, really an elite front 7 for Ohio State. One that has 16 sacks and 28 tackles for a loss in just 3 playoff games. That doesn't even take into account what they did in the regular season. We're looking in just 3 games alone against good teams in Tennessee, Oregon, and Texas have combined for 16 sacks and 28 tackles for a loss. Guys like JT Tuimoloau, their linebacker, Cody Simon, their defensive end, Jack Sawyer, who had the big strip sack fumble recovery that sealed the win for them in their game against Texas. All those guys, so extremely difficult to stop. And Notre Dame's certainly going to have their hands full on the offensive line, trying to stop these guys and trying to protect Riley Leonard. So if you're Ohio State, if you can do what you've done for these last 3 games, if you can put a lot of pressure on Riley Leonard, who, yes, is mobile, no doubt about it, but is not the greatest pocket passer in the world. If you can get pressure on him, it could be a very long day, not just for Leonard, but for this entire Notre Dame offense. And again, that's especially if they limit that rushing ability. Notre Dame just gave up 5 sacks in their semifinal win over Penn State. So it's proven that the offensive line, as good as it's been all year, is vulnerable, can be exploited from a dominant pass rush, and Ohio State absolutely has that. So that's reason number 1. Number 2, their newfound balance on offense. You go back and look at that Michigan game where they mustered just 252 yards of total offense, only 10 points. It was terrible. And if you go back and look across the entire season, Ohio State was very prone to getting off to slow starts offensively. Yeah, they were beating teams, but they really, okay, great, you beat Iowa, you beat Michigan State, you beat Akron, you beat Western Michigan. They were pretty prone to getting off to relatively slow starts and then ended up turning it on later, winning by double digits. But that all changed after the Michigan loss. It's all changed once they've gotten to the college football playoff. In their 3 college football playoff games, they've outscored their opponents 42-0 in the first quarter. 42-0 in the first quarter in these 3 playoff games. They've outscored their opponents 69-25 in the first half. So they're getting off to faster starts. They're getting off to a more aggressive start. They're averaging over 447 yards per game in these 3 playoff games. They've had at least 370 yards of offense in all 3 playoff games. Over 308 passing yards per game, over 139 rushing yards per game. So Will Howard has turned it on with one of the best wide receiver duos in the country in Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka. The rushing game is doing their job. The offensive line is doing their job. Everything is finally clicking for Ohio State. The offense is looking like we thought it would for the entire season. Not to say they were bad in the regular season by any means, but they're playing faster. They're playing more aggressive. they're dominating their opponents with their speed and their size and their brilliant play calls from Chip Kelly. This is what we have been wanting to see, what we expected to see, and what we really didn't see in some of the bigger games of the year for Ohio State in the regular season, but we're now seeing it in the college football playoff. That's what's helping them get to this point. And it's going to be very difficult for Notre Dame to find a way to make Ohio State one-dimensional because everything's clicking offensively. You shut down the pass, well, the running game can make up for that. If you shut down the run game, Will Howard has been playing out of his mind. So this is not a one-dimensional offense. This is not one that really can become one-dimensional. Even though Notre Dame has one of the better defenses in the entire country, one of the best defenses that Ohio State's seen all year long, it's still going to be very difficult for the Fighting Irish. And again, if Will Howard keeps playing the way he's been playing, Ohio State will be lifting that national title trophy on Monday night. And then finally, number 3, another reason why Ohio State can win this national title is discipline. It is absolute discipline. And I'll give Ryan Day that. He always seemingly has a very disciplined group, a very disciplined team. These guys are not just playing hard. These guys have not seemingly had a change in mindset. Something that I think, again, despite how disappointing that loss to Michigan was, maybe it was for the better, was for the best for Ohio State. It changed that mindset in the locker room. It reshifted their focus. I think that all worked out well. But you look at what they do. They don't turn the ball over. Ohio State takes care of that ball perfectly. Only 2 turnovers in 3 college football playoff games. They've played 15 games this year and have committed just 66 penalties. They're averaging just 4.4 penalties per game, just 39 penalty yards per game. They had an uncharacteristic game against Texas, committed 9 penalties for 75 yards against the Longhorns. But in their other 2 games, against Tennessee and Oregon, combined for 5 penalties for 39 yards. 5 penalties, 39 yards in their first 2 combined. That's it. So Ohio State doesn't beat themselves. They don't turn the ball over. They don't commit stupid penalties. They don't commit a lot of pre-snap penalties. They do a really good job of just playing hard-nosed, physical football. And again, penalties are a great way to ruin your drives. Penalties are a great way to give your team some extra life. They beat yourself. Ohio State doesn't do that. Will Howard taking great care of the ball, something that he had issues with a little bit in the regular season, doing great in the playoff. Penalty-wise, hasn't been an issue all year, continues to not be an issue in the playoff. So they do that just one more time. Take care of the ball and don't commit penalties. Again, only 4.4 penalties per game is an insane stat. It shows you how great this Ohio State team is. They're going to be just fine. That's what they've got to do. So we've got the pass rush. We've got the newfound balance on offense. We've got a disciplined football team. All of those things can lead to a national title for the Buckeyes. No doubt about it. This was the year, right? We come into the season, Ohio State shelled out all that money, handpicked their players, Will Howard, Quinshon Judkins, plenty of other guys at the transfer portal, plenty of great high school recruits. All these guys coming in, they're shelling out all this NIL money for, basically saying we are going all in. After so many years of disappointment, losing to Michigan, missing out, all in to win a national title. And at one point, just a little over a month ago, it didn't look like that was going to happen. Now they're 1 win away from making it happen. They have defied the odds, I would say, to get to this point. Many would say they'll defy the odds, they can win the whole dang thing. But can they do it? Can Ohio State clinch their first national title since 2014 and become the first ever 12-team playoff champions? Find out tomorrow with our official national championship prediction right here on the Gridiron Expert. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at our channel. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home to the expert picks, home to the holiday special, home to our weekly newsletters, all those things down in the description for you to become a member of our team and our GE Nation. We are talking college football with you 24/7, 365. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.